Okay, here we are, March the 5th. My goodness, 2026. This program is just going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to tell you because this is all about the early findings of a major market research project. And I want to share all of this with you. And this is it's it's things that you know that I want to share, but also inside data about what's happening in the world of coaching and consulting, transformational visionary leadership, and ultimately how to position yourself right in the downstream and in the right lane for your business. So I'm so delighted to share all this with you. But before we do that, just want to jump in and we've had some fantastic programs as always, working with how to become the category of one advisor to executive women, executive men. Be sure to check out that replay. And also how to position yourself as the category of one. Really thrilled about that. And of course, Suzanne Ekstrom, thank you for you. Congratulations. Your program was fantastic. I will never think about a cathedral the same way again. So thank you. Susan, on camera, do you want to tell us a little bit about your latest project in Espanol? So we'll
Yes,
get this on the recording. Yeah.
yeah. So what I had this presentation about was my second book, and the first book is Leadership Development for Smarter Leaders, and it's about your inner growth. And what I shared in the presentation is the next one, and it's about the outer growth. But the inner growth book, the first one, I published. Yeah, yeah, you have that. Great. I launched the second version of my first book, and the second version is Spanish. And I will also soon be publishing in German and in French as well. So to be able to reach a broader market than just people speaking English. So that is what's going on around my books. Thank you for letting me share.
Absolutely. Congratulations. So feel free, any of your LinkedIn posts, tag C-Suite Network, Women's Coaching and Consulting Council, any of us in our council, and we will repost for you and give you even more positioning and exposure and opportunities. And, we never know when we our networks are so huge, and we'll never know the impact and the ripple effect of just one repost with the appropriate 5 words or more, right, Carol Kammerer, that we'll put in to be able to get it activated. So good. Okay, fantastic. Good. Thank you. All right. Hey, so we started, and this is a personal passion project for me, one of many. How many of you have got multiple passion projects? Yes. These are the early market signals, and this is the part of the early reveal that I'm giving to each of you. I have decided to keep this study open for much longer. While we had 147 women and men participate in this project, I'm very thrilled with that. There's more to do, and there's more to say, and there's more audiences to reach. And I think that by keeping it open for at least a month or two more, we're going to be able to get more visibility and get more insights. So, no worries if you haven't responded yet, not a problem. It takes literally just a few minutes, and not a problem because we are keeping this open. So, the intention of the research project, and with any sort of research project survey, it's so important to be able to claim what's the intention of the project. What is it that you are looking to accomplish? And so, what we were looking at is how now in 2026, how is expertise, coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, thought leaders, visionaries, how are people being selected, valued, and compensated in today's professional market? You know the statistics. I'm not going to go into them, but there are now millions, that's millions, of people on LinkedIn that have the title consultant, okay, globally. And now in the US, and I believe also in Europe, that there are now over 2 million people that say they have the title coach. on LinkedIn. So a lot of people are identifying with that. And I believe this is a good thing because we not only want to make the pie bigger for everyone, heck, we want to go out and bake more pies, don't we? So yeah, that's our natural initiative. We want to make more opportunities. So we're not competitors. I believe we're collaborators. We're helping each other. We're making more pies. So, with that, the research early findings, I'm going to share all of this with you. And there are some major points that I'm going to drill into. This is not going to be a 10-hour debrief. There's going to, in our C-suite network, Women's Coaching and Consulting Council, we get in, we get out. So, the research is all about how are some, how and why are some experts, thought leaders, coaches, and consultants, why is it that they are highly compensated while others are not? Okay, this is not a morality thing. This is not a judgment thing. This is getting the data on what's happening in the marketplace. So guess what? We can get in the lane that we want to get in. And it's so interesting because how do we, when technically we have the same talent, the same credentials, same experience, why is it that some are getting traction and some are not? So sorry about all the words, but I just have so much to condense in here for you. Why the study matters and why for each of you, if you're doing your own research project, is we are continuing to grow worldwide. While AI is certainly a force when it comes to coaching and consulting, there is nothing that can compare to connecting with another human being, connecting in a way that's very heavy, deep, and real, that is transformational, but also you as coaches, consultants, creating community. And that's going to be the theme of some of our upcoming programs too, with our new established faculty coming in, talking about community. AI cannot create community. AI cannot create that deep transformation, that human experience. So we need to get more into that lane. The challenge is there are questions that the survey is really identifying is why is revenue so unpredictable? Okay. And where is expertise being selected at higher levels? And of course, why is it that capable professionals like us are being selected and gaining traction while others are not? And what are the patterns under which experts are chosen? Okay. So I'm just going to show you a couple slides of the research, and a full research report will be available. Again, we're going to keep this open at least, I'm going to declare right now for at least 60 more days. We want to get more voices in here. And you know that in order to have your research become quotable, notable, and referenced, it's important to have at least 300 respondents. Okay. So we're about halfway there, which is really great. So just to give you an idea about our research is that literally in the marketplace of the respondents, most people are identifying as a coach and consultant. You can see 61.1% are saying they're doing both. I think the days of just saying you're a coach, you can see that 16.7% are saying they're just a coach. We've got to be nimble. And, we know the difference in coaching and consulting that as a coach, we're not necessarily advising like a consultant, but we've got to be able to have both skill sets. Okay. And people were identifying that they are doing all of these things as well. They're also a keynote. You could see that people are keynotes. They're also speakers, authors, thought leaders. Many of them also, you can see a very small sliver were internal coaches or organizational consultants in companies. Our research was very, very exciting because the majority of the respondents, as you can see, 55.6, are seasoned experts with 10 plus years in their work. So this is a group of people who have a lot of experience, but I'm going to share with you in a moment what are they actually experiencing as a result of all of this experience. Okay. And you can see that about 11.1% are people that are just getting into our industry 1 to 3 years. So this is interesting to see what's happening with people leaving corporate, leaving government, education, different kinds of careers in organizations that are now leaving and starting their own businesses. So this is important for us to know what's happening in the marketplace. Okay. And of course, this is the last slide that I wanted to share just for now because it also sets the tone for what's the revenue reality that the respondents are experiencing. And these are in US dollars, but you can see 11%. Isn't this interesting? 11%. We've got people at the top, again, there's no moral judgment here. We just are looking at the data. 11.1% are generating over $250,000 or more in revenue. And then also there's the other 11% that are under 25,000. Okay. So interestingly enough, and my survey also goes into a correlation between years and revenue, but I think it's too soon to release that. Okay. But most people, you can see it's very interesting that it's kind of almost evenly divided, that people are in the 50 to 100,000 and 100 to 249. Okay. So very, very interesting about revenue. So the early results are also saying that, and perhaps you can resonate with this, I certainly do, is what people are in our business are experiencing, but not saying out loud, is that revenue is fluctuating unpredictably. There was literally about 10% of the respondents who said that they have the ability to predict their revenue month to month and year to year. Those are the people who said they had longer term corporate contracts. Okay. And those were also the people that said they had groups and communities. So, hello, ding, 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 ding. These are two areas where, if you're looking for predictable revenue, groups, councils, masterminds, building communities, and also organizational work is a way to predictable revenue. No guarantees, but this is one of the things that we're learning. What the other feedback has been is that people are seeing that buyers are seeing the value in what we do, but they're hesitating to commit. Okay. So it's causing our buyers to be able to say, I'll think about it. Let me think more about it. Let me do some more research and evaluation. And to be able to, and there's reasons why this is happening. We're going to go into that in just a moment, but it's difficult for us as coaches and consultants, trusted advisors, and thought leaders with over 2 million of us in the marketplace to stand out in a crowded market. Also, the research has shown that balancing work, and these are things that I think we all know, but it's interesting to get the data. Client work, marketing work, and business development, and actually balancing all of it is very difficult for coaches and consultants. And as a result, coaches and consultants are reporting, and I'll give you the data again in a future update, but they're experiencing tremendous high periods of burnout and exhaustion. So I just want to pause and get your voice in here. Is this something that you're also noticing? We don't need to self-identify to any of these, but revenue that's unpredictable, buyers that are hesitant to commit, difficulty standing out in the marketplace, balancing all of this work, but also experiencing perhaps the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. Okay. So I want to pause here for a moment. Pretty interesting affirmation, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Any thoughts, comments about what we've been talking about so far?
I can say that I've heard many people who do the consulting say they've had a harder time getting, whether it is a repeating client or a new client, to commit, that everybody's really double checking what can they spend money on and trying to assess the best place to put it.
Susan, how brilliant. Yes. So those factors, they have internal factors, but also external factors about, is this the right person we should proceed with? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I've learned from the data on what we can do about all these things. But, it's interesting with budgetary fluctuations And with fluctuating economy, we've got world things that are happening now more than ever before. We're all impacted by the global economy and dynamics. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else that you're noticing? Yeah. And I think to also say, this is what we're dealing with. And to me, when I've been analyzing the research, I took a deep breath of a sigh of relief. I was like, I'm not the only one. And
Yeah.
I got to tell you, that was so gratifying to me. It's like, I don't want to say it's great, but it's like, okay, these are conditions that we can solve for. Yeah. Suzanne,
Yeah,
you were
I
jumping in.
was just going to say that same thing. Like it's I can like check mark on all of those pretty much, and as well it's good, or it's great to see that in a negative way, sort of, that I'm not alone in this. It's not
Yes.
just me
And,
experiencing
and
this.
thank you. And this is not just like a US situation. This is not just a European situation. It's not just a rest of the world kind of thing. This is a global thing because we had
Yeah.
several, and I didn't put the slide in there. I will in our first full report, is that we had literally about 25% of our respondents from outside of the United States. So this is interesting. This is not just what we're seeing. It's a global phenomenon. So yeah, but the good news is it's solvable. These are solvable things, which is great. So, it kind of as a pause here for a moment is this is the benefit of doing research so that you can find out from your ideal clients, hello, what I'm modeling is what I want you to do. Of course, and several of you are doing this, is doing this kind of research gives you the authoritative data to be able then to be quoted because now I've got tons of statistics and it also honestly helps me and helps us understand what are the conditions that we need to solve for and help and find solutions for in our council. So these are the topics that are so important. So for your research, it gives you clues as to what your clients are secretly asking for, but maybe are not so visibly asking for. So this is kind of like behind the scenes type of thing. So thank you. Let me continue on. Yes. So the other major shift that's occurring, and I'm just so excited to share this with you because again, when we know these things, we can solve for it, is that the past selection criteria that we've been seeing is credentials, experience, reputation, or referrals. Those are things that how many of you have been kind of leaning on those? I know that's been my portfolio. I'm now talking to many, many women who are coming to join our council. And literally, this is the playbook that they've been using. And what they're now noticing is the referrals from clients are getting a little slower. The referrals from other people that they don't know so well, they don't have a great relationship with, kind of a passive relationship with, those referrals are getting a little slower. Their experience when they're saying that they've been a coach for decades, it's kind of like, okay, great type of thing. The credentials, I'm still a believer in all of these things, but the credentials, this could be controversial. However, I've been speaking to a lot of people that have got a lot of three-letter acronyms after their name. I won't say what that means. You know what I'm talking about. And they still cannot put the puzzle pieces together to have a business that breaks $100,000 a year US. Okay. So the old path that credentials were the guarantee, experience, reputation, referrals, it's not that is not where it's at right now. The world is a changing, and today's selection criteria that I've learned through this research is positioning, distinct positioning, becoming the recognized authority, clear specialization, and visibility in trusted networks. These are the things that are different, the difference makers. The people that were at the higher end of the the revenue spectrum were saying these are the things that they're leveraging right now. Okay. Yeah. Any comments, questions, jump right in. I think this is exciting because this tells us where we need to go, right? This is part of the roadmap in the what to do. And, leaning on those old things, I'm not saying abandon any of those things, but let's put ourselves in a different category. And of course, my body of work is the category of one, is how can we put ourselves in the category of one positioning? Great. Anything jumping out at you here that you want to jump in? Get your voices in.
I would agree that what I have heard from many is going after a certification has gotten them less than getting exposure and having experience that makes them able to show how they have problem solved for others. And that solution that they have created along the way for others frequently becomes the credibility that in the past a certification had provided.
Susan, you are telepathic because that's where we're going next. Did you get a little early peeky on our research? Thank
No,
you.
but it's what I hear others talking about. And it's
Yes,
been for years that people have been saying, I don't feel I want another certification. I want to have what I have experienced speak for itself. And
yes,
I
yes.
think
Thank
as
you.
they share their stories with others, that's where people lean in and go, I think this person has the wherewithal to work with me in a proactive way to create the solution I'm looking for.
Brilliant. Yes, brilliant. And this is, again, not a knock on the ICF. This is not a knock against any additional training and growth. In our council, we are such advocates of that. I mean, that's our deal is growing, developing, but at the same time, how are we applying this to become unique, special, and solving distinct problems that our ideal clients have? So thank you. Thank
I
you. Love exactly what you said. Go ahead, please.
and I
Yes.
think the other part of it is when you look at people who are using the title of coach as the only factor, that's when the credibility truly is important. But for many of us, the coaching happens within some other aspect of the problem solving. So it isn't the primary reason somebody hires us to coach them. However, some of what we provide as solutions ends up being coaching.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. Fabulous, fabulous insight, Susan. This is great. Yes. Yeah. I don't know that people are saying right now, especially is, hey, I need coaching or I want coaching. No, like as you're saying, it's like, hey, I'm dealing with this and I need a thinking partner. I'd like to have an advisor. I'd like to have someone overcome this with me. I need a specialist, an expert. I have real issues that I'm smart enough to know I don't have the expertise for, but I believe you do. So being able to hire out and partner with experts. Yes.
And it's almost more of a mentoring than a coaching because
Yes.
it's sharing ideas and looking for the way to create the solution experienced on what has in the past maybe worked and what in the past maybe hasn't as options to say here's where it worked at this time, didn't work at that time, what option needs to be explored in a different way.
Brilliant. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And as an example of what you're saying, I was on a Zoom call with a group of CEOs. And when I heard a CEO saying that they're using ChatGPT as their coach to be able to put together some plans and work through some employee issues, I got to tell you, my heart stopped. And I thought to myself, wow, what do we need to do as truly trusted advisors to our clients to be able to break through that particular paradigm? Because an app for $40 a month US, or whatever it is, how, you know, we've got to change the conversation, right? And I don't see the conversation being changed out there. And that's part of our mission is to change the conversation. Good. Anything else that you're seeing? I mean, AI is becoming even more and more as a groundswell. Yes, thank you. thank you, Sheila, with what you're saying. For clients, it's the knowledge transfer that's the distinction that matters. Excellent. Great. Thank you. Thank you. And um, and we know in the Kirkpatrick model, it's the level 5 application of the knowledge, right? It's not knowledge for knowledge sake, but it's the application and the action that's doing. We as coaches help our clients do that. Yes. Okay, good. So let's continue on. All right, by the way, are you enjoying this? I hope you're enjoying this. It's just, it's like, whoa, fascinating for me. Okay. So we're winding down here, and I'm going to quickly share some of the individual distinctions that you can start to utilize, practically speaking, in your business today. Okay. So part of the bottom line with all of this is we've got a crowded market, and selection and higher fees are going to the most clearly recognized expert. And I say expert because I'm going to talk about the journey from being a coach through the whole process of being to be selected, chosen, and to be highly compensated and rewarded, of course. So number one, the emerging pattern that I mentioned, first of all, is this whole revenue volatility. It is widespread. Everyone in the research said that this is what they're dealing with. And revenue volatility, it's inconsistent, unpredictable, difficult to forecast. And this is even what's happening with experienced professionals. Okay. So knowing this, I highly recommend, and we're going to be working on this more in our council as well, is how do we make our revenue models more predictable? What are the revenue models that are working now and into the future that helps to kind of smooth out the high highs and the low lows? Okay. And then also how to deal with that emotionally, how to deal with that from a business sense, how to deal with that from a financial forecasting perspective. There are strategies. Emerging number two is the capacity is not the problem that we're seeing is it's we can do more, we can have more clients. The obstacles that clients, people that were responding are saying that, hey, they're having a harder time attracting the right buyers, standing out in a crowded market, and then closing business consistently and also scaling beyond the one-to-one relationships. Okay. We talked a little bit about that. So, number one is, of course, inconsistent revenue. Number two is increasing our ability to be working with the right buyers and have the right buyers stand out, and then also how to have them say yes. Number three, the three and the last remaining is we've got two more is buyers are seeing the value in what we're doing, yet they are hesitating. All right. So closing the gap for us between interest and commitment is really important. And there are strategies on how to do that. So we're going to focus in our council on more of those things. Is the themes that I heard in the study in the written part of this is there's buyers are saying, oh, I so appreciate what you're doing. I love what you're doing. It's really great what you're doing. What you're doing is so valuable. They're acknowledging us and the value, yet they're not making decisions quickly, okay, because of so many factors that we've talked about. So how then do we stand out as the one and the only? Not like better than, not as a prestige thing, not as a ego thing, but more that we are so dialed in to the problems we solve, who we are, who we serve, and that we've got the book, the podcast, the show, the affiliation, we've got the branding, we've got everything dialed in for a more narrow scope of prospective clients. We're speaking at the conferences that they're attending, you know, we're in their orbit and they're in ours. The fourth pattern is, again, as we were talking about, is professionals are clear that they're a coach and I help people do X, Y, and Z, but the way they describe what they're doing is not distinct enough. It's positioning that it's clear, it's understandable, it's somewhat defined. These were all the comments that our respondents said, but yet they struggle to stand out. So the highlights are really the importance for all of us in this preliminary preview of our research is The important differences are being understood and being the obvious choice. Okay. So when you are writing the books and you are the author, when you've got the podcast, when you've got the newsletter, when you've got credentials, you've got a community, you have all these things, you become the obvious choice, right? You don't become like the coach on leadership, the coach, the consultant on productivity. You become more niched in. All right. So, some different ways to think and from the research, and I just have a couple more things to share. Anything popping up for you? Pretty cool, right? These are things that we can certainly solve for. And I'm excited about this. I think this is super, super good. And we will also be bringing into our council executive women who happen to be some of my clients coming in and talking about all of these things. And then how do they, as an executive, make the choice of hiring a coach consultant? What are the ways? So it's going to validate everything that we're talking about. There's so many subtleties too that I want you to hear from them firsthand. So we need to move from comparison to being recognized as the category of one, the expert, the go-to. And this, how we do this is, of course, we've talked about this a little bit already, is hey, we're associated with a particular type of problem or opportunity. We have a distinctive point of view, and we also have trusted relationships within a trusted network. So, ladies, we're affiliated. That's part of the key too, is we are affiliated with C-Suite Network, with each other, with our Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. We're affiliated with excellence. So thinking from leaving our time today is where are your affiliations locally? I love to have a local business. I want to have a local and global business. So who are you affiliated with on a local basis and who are you affiliated with on a global basis? You know, your local chambers of commerce, your local business development, economic development corporations, charities. And I have to say, my philanthropic work has made all the difference in my local business. You know, being able to really hone in on participating, donating, volunteering with a really tight, narrow time frame because work expands to fill the time allotted. And so, you know, being able to be more of a targeted kind of approach as opposed to a general approach. So anything that you want to say about that, please feel free to jump in as we complete. So what's happening is professionals like us, we're being evaluated as one of many, okay? And we've got to move, we are moving from being distinct and recognizable and going from, as I mentioned to you, the four stages of our progress as experts, as recognized leaders, as recognized professionals is hey, when you start off, you're a capable professional, right? You're at least trying to, you're a pro, right? You run your business like a pro, you've got content, you've got frameworks. Stage two is emerging as an authority. You're recognized by others for the work you're doing. Stage number three, a distinct expert in the areas that you work and your thought leadership. And stage four is where we're all going, I believe, which is the category of one. When an opportunity or challenge arrives, you are the one who comes to mind in with our ideal clients. So that's our work, ladies, to be able to move into that category of one so that we become the chosen, the selected, and that when we name our fees, it's just a natural for us. Okay. Getting into the rarefied air, ladies, that's what I want for all of us is let's get out of the red oceans and move into blue skies. Okay. Blue rarefied air. So this is the work that we're doing. This is the mission that we have in our council. More content to come about this, but I wanted to give you an early review of our research project and give you an inside view. I think it's very, very exciting, and I'm so thrilled that we have a pathway. Okay. Any comments, questions before we complete? And then I just want to share with you, we've got some opportunities. See, we not only talk about it, we do it in our council. So there we go. Anything else before I mention to you just a couple upcoming opportunities?
Thank
All
you, is
right.
what I'd like to say, for putting all of this together and giving us a preview.
Thank you. You're
I'm glad
welcome.
you are continuing it to get a larger base so that
Yes.
you get that credibility for the work you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think that thank you, Susan. Really appreciate that. And thank you to all of you. The ripple effect of what we do is very powerful. We'll never know the impact of a research project or of writing a book or a podcast or a blog or whatever it is. And big shout out to each of you because you're doing your work in the way that works for you, and each of you are extending yourself. And that takes something. Let's not fool ourselves. It takes something. Sometimes it's easier not to do it, but you're doing it. So congratulations. So with that, hey, we're in the game and on the court, right? So next Thursday, we are featuring you and some of our newest esteemed faculty partners. This is the test. We're trying this out. We're going to do this once a quarter. Okay. I think once every couple months is a little bit too much, but once a quarter we'll start where you get to be the category of one in your breakout room. So we are starting with C Suite Network, doing a lot of promotion this upcoming week, and you get to host a roundtable. And today, social media is going out with your topic and who you are with your beautiful photo in our media. Our team is working on that. We've got one post that's really beautiful. You're going to love it. It's going out today. And it's essentially where you can talk about what you're passionate about in your breakout room. So if you haven't contacted me to let me know what's your area yet through an email, Kathleen at caldwellconsulting.biz, send me an email message or send me a Voxer or whatever works for you to let me know what your topic is going to be because we're promoting that starting today. We've been promoting the roundtable for about 2 months. So there's already registrations, which is really great. So what's going to happen is you can tell your tribe, hey, I'm hosting a roundtable as esteemed faculty in the C Suite Network Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. And my topic I'm going to talk about is this. And then send your ideal clients invitations to come to the event. When they come into our waiting room, we're going to essentially match make them. They're going to tell us, hey, I came to see Suzanne. I came to see Susan. I came to see Carol. I came to see Sheila in your topic. So we'll be putting in the chat your name and your topic and which breakout room you'll be in. Okay. So the goal then is to have 40 minutes, 40 minutes where you lead your own breakout room. I mean, this is amazing. You get to host your own event, so to speak. And you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can show some sides if you want to. You can just have a conversation with your attendees. Hey, what are you seeing in this? Or I've noticed this, or, I'm just launching a book. What are your thoughts about this? Just getting the conversation going. And if you would like any assistance on how to do that, send me an email, contact me, and we'll talk about that. Okay, good. Hope you're enjoying this. We've already got registrations. It's going to be great. So, yep, and your picture will be on our social media as well. So that is next Thursday. And then, of course, finally, save the date. Community, commerce, connection, and currency is where we're going big time as we continue to grow in our council. So save the date. We're on the Friday before the C Suite Network Thought Council in Chicago. We're going to be downtown. The weather I know already is going to be magnificent. It's going to look just like that picture that's on the screen. Yes. So come to Chicago, be part of our event. We have a full day event. It's going to be fantastic. You will leave that day with your community action plan. Where are you building community? What's your offer? What are you going to do? Who are you going to invite? What's your whole system on community, bringing people together? That's the best way to build a business, ladies, is building community. Okay, so that's our theme. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate your interest. Appreciate your feedback. Lots of love. Any parting words, final words, takeaways from our time together? Thank you. You have made my day and made my week, and I just so appreciate you. Anything you'd like to share before we complete? Lots of love.
Encouraging data.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol. Very good. We have a path. We know we can start getting into it. It's good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you so much.
And a lot
Any
to
other
think
takeaways?
about, I think. You've given us some information that allows us to go, what have I been experiencing and what am I looking forward to? And how do I take this information and put together maybe it's a revised plan or maybe it's validating a plan we have already put into play.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Yep, you got it. That's it. That's the goal.
Yeah, and also I got interested in seeing the graphs and maybe like look at the people who are earning the most revenue, if they are seasoned consultants or if they are actually brand new, or if there's like no correlation between that. That would be interesting as well to look
Yes.
at.
Thank you,
Just to
Suzanne. So
see.
we're going to delve. Yes, exactly. And I'll mention to you all of the people that are 250 and above are all 10 plus years.
Okay.
Interesting. And it was a mix of, professional experience, but mainly experience being a coach consultant, whether they started in corporate and they moved out to their own business. But the people that have more experience are those that are at the top, in revenue, which is interesting. Yes. So we'll want to hone into that. What are those? What are their habits? What is it that makes them different as well? So, yep, the research creates more research, right?
Yeah.
Good. Good.
And
Thank
and
you.
also if you have a long-term assignment at one client paying you really well, that is
Yes.
not maybe showing the total truth of the situation either, because they are not out on the market and yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of things to speculate and dive into, I would say.
And I will
Thank
add
you.
what I heard yesterday. Was it yesterday? It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. It's all starting to fade together. Uh, I heard a discussion saying that in looking at what businesses are doing, they are more concerned about retaining customers right now than they are about going and looking for new customers.
Mm.
And to me, that's an interesting thing in relation to what Susanna just asked, because it is frequently when you can maintain and grow what you've been doing with an existing customer, it's an easier buy-in. You do not have to do the full realm of why would you buy from me? It is more you've always had success with me. And even if we're branching into a new direction with them, you've already got a track record to build upon. And I think that is part of what we need to look at in those larger contract numbers and what is giving great success to some people.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes. Thank you. And the community aspect of it. Sometimes it's the content and the transformation that pulls people in, but isn't it the community that has people stick, and the relationships and the depth of the humanitarianism, Susan? How about
Yeah.
that? Yep. Yeah, very good. Well, ladies, thank you. Oh my gosh, this was so fun. So fun. And of course, if you have questions about how to do your own research project, contact me. I'd be delighted to share with you this whole methodology and this whole system, because there is a system and there are frameworks. So with that, bye for now. Have a beautiful day. Let's go do it now. Okay. Let's go do it and make a difference. Lots of love to each of you. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye bye.